The throttle switch allows you to increase or decrease 100 RPMs per selection. This enables you to work in a defined range with which you're comfortable. This also allows you to have better control over your throttle position, allowing you to better manage fuel consumption. If a larger RPM shift is desired, holding the switch in either direction for more than 1 second will cause the engine speed to change at 700 RPM per second. The transmission shift control and parking brake is a single lever with a U-shaped shift pattern. To apply the parking brake, push down on the control and move it forward into the notch. To release the parking brake, depress the shift control and pull it out of the notch. Use the transmission shift control to change transmission speeds and direction. The transmission uses electronic clutch pressure control, ECPC, which provides improved shift quality. This machine also features electronic overspeed protection. However, with the improved performance of today's machines, the old rule of thumb of descending a hill in the same gear used to climb the hill no longer applies. Instead, it is suggested that to descend a hill, select a gear 2 speeds lower than the gear used to climb that hill. The front console contains the electronic monitoring system, EMS, gauges, and indicator lights. The monitoring system will be functional when the key switch is in the on position. The EMS panel includes the operator mode switch, the quad gauge module, the speedometer tachometer module, an indicator lamp panel, and 2 air pressure gauges. By momentarily pushing the operator mode switch, you can scroll through a variety of readout modes, such as service hour meter display, cumulative odometer display, digital tachometer display, and 6 additional displays listed in the OMM. The quad gauge module will display these machine parameters: engine coolant temperature, articulation angle, system voltage, and fuel level. The speedometer tachometer module displays several machine parameters: ground speed, engine speed, and transmission gear and direction. The indicator lamp panel will inform the operator of 9 machine parameters, with a capacity of 13. These include such parameters as differential locked, center shift pin pulled, and electronic throttle engaged. The EMS module also has 10 red LED alert indicators and a numeric display, which show the operator such parameters as hydraulic oil temperature, system voltage, engine oil pressure, and coolant temperature. Now let's move to the controls on the shift console located on your right. Here is the start-stop switch. These are the heater and air conditioning controls. Rocker switches on the top of the console control up to 5 functions. This switch controls the optional blade lift accumulators. It has 2 positions, on and off. This is the test switch for the supplemental steering system. The system does a self-check at startup. Use the switch only for manual use or to move a dead machine. You must do 2 things to activate the center shift pin puller. Push the latch tab and move the switch to the top position to disengage the lock pin. When the pin is disengaged, an indicator will light up on the instrument panel. It is important that you ground the mold board before you change the pin position. The position of the center shift pin determines how far the drawbar extends from under the frame. Simply move the switch to the bottom position to engage the lock pin. Use the center shift pin to reposition the link bar for many different applications. This 3-position switch allows you to put the all-wheel drive system in manual or automatic mode, or turn it off. All-wheel drive significantly improves traction if you're operating in poor underfoot conditions, such as snow, mud, or sand. Push the top of the switch down to put the all-wheel drive system in the automatic mode. The system then automatically increases pressure, giving more torque to the front wheels as rear wheel slip increases. You control front wheel responsiveness by adjusting the torque control lever. The farther you move the lever forward, the more quickly the front wheel torque will increase as tandem slip increases. The electronic controls of the all-wheel drive system automatically vary the amount of torque in relation to how much the tandems slip up to the maximum pressure. Push the bottom of the rocker switch to control the all-wheel drive manually. Then adjust the torque lever to set a constant all-wheel drive pump pressure to the front wheels. Move the lever as working conditions and operating speeds change. Let's go over some of the other controls in the cab. These are the controls for the windshield wipers and washers. Turn each knob clockwise for the wiper and push for the washer function. Here's where you add washer fluid. These rocker switches control the dual-speed front and rear defroster fans. The fuse blocks contain automotive-style fuses. The steering console contains several switches. To use the ether starting aid, push the top of this switch to inject a pre-measured amount of ether during cold weather starts. This switch controls the light bar. The top of this switch turns on the panel lights, tail lights, and headlights. The bottom position turns on panel lights and tail lights only. This switch controls the work lights. The top position turns on the front work lamps. The bottom position activates the front and rear work lights. This is the differential lock-unlock switch. Push the top of it to unlock the differential. Always unlock the differential during turns or when roading the machine. Push the bottom to lock up the differential. You'll do this when tractive conditions or certain applications require it. Here's where the turn signals and hazard switch are located. The headlight dimmer switch on the right side of the console controls high beam, down, and low beam, up. On normal startup, when temperatures are above freezing, first check to ensure that the parking brake is engaged, and put the blade lift control levers in the hold position. Turn the start switch key to start the engine. Keep the engine at low idle until pressures and temperatures enter the operating range. While the engine is warming up, apply dry film lubricant to the mold boards and circle wear surfaces, and apply a heavy grease to the circle pinion teeth.